my considerable charm to make her like me. Easier than you might think. Anybody can be charming if they don't mind thinking. Saying all this stupid, obvious, nauseating things.
I'm gonna smell like blood for days!
As I approached the little group clustered near the cafe, the worker was interviewing somebody in rapid-fire Spanish. I speak Spanish. I even understand a little Cuban. But I could only get one word in 10 from La Huerta. The Cuban dialect is the despair of the Spanish-speaking world. The whole purpose of Cuban Spanish seems to be to race against an invisible stopwatch and get out as much as possible in 3-second bursts without using any consonants. The trick to following it is to know what the person is going to say before they say it. That tends to contribute to the clannishness non-Cubans sometimes complain about. The man the weather was grilling was short and broad, dark, with Indio features, and was clearly intimidated by the dialect, the tone. He tried not to look at her as he spoke, which seemed to make her speak even faster. No hay nadie afuera, he said softly.
Easy when the target walks that map that we can use.
Nobody was outside. They were all in the cafe. ¿Dónde estabas? She demanded. Where were you? The man looked at the bags of body parts and quickly looked away. Cocina. The kitchen. Entonces yo saco la basura. Then I took out the garbage. The worker went on, pushing at him verbally, asking the wrong questions in a tone of voice that bullied and demeaned him until he slowly forgot the horror of finding the body parts in the dumpster and turned sullen and uncooperative instead. A true master's test. Take the key witness and turn him against you. If you can screw up the case in the first few hours, it saves time and paperwork later. She finished with a few threats and sent the man away. Indio.
Nobody tell the Soviet Olympic team about this stuff.
It takes all kinds, detective, I said. Even campesinos. She looked up and ran her eyes over me slowly, while I stood and wondered why. Had she forgotten what I looked like? But she finished with a big smile. She really did like me, the idiot. Hola, Dexter. What brings you here? I heard you were here and couldn't stay away.
Can't believe I haven't killed
Please,
Peck yet. He's not listening,
She giggled.
is he?
The other officers within earshot exchanged a glance and then looked away. I don't buy a shoe until I try it on, La Huerta said, no matter how good the shoe looks. And while I was sure that was true, it didn't actually explain to me why she stared at me with her tongue between her teeth as she said it. Now go away. You're distracting me. I have serious work here. I can see that, I said. Have you caught the killer yet? She snorted. You sound like a reporter. Those assholes will be all over me in another hour. What will you tell them? She looked at the bags of body parts and frowned. Not because the sight bothered her. She was seeing her career, trying to phrase her statement to the press. It's only a matter of time before the killer makes a mistake and we catch him. Meaning, I said, that so far he hasn't made any mistakes, you don't have any clues, and you have to wait for him to kill again before you can do anything? She looked at me hard. I forget. Why do I like you? I just shrugged. I didn't have a clue, but then apparently she didn't either. What we got is nada y nada. That Guatemalan, she made a face at the retreating Indio. He found the body when he came out with the garbage from the restaurant. He didn't recognize these garbage bags, and he opened one up to see if maybe there was something good. And it was the head. Peekaboo, I said softly. Huh? Nothing. She looked around, frowning, perhaps hoping a clue would leap out and she could shoot it. So that's it. Nobody saw anything, heard anything, nothing. I have to wait for your fellow nerds to finish up before I know anything. Detective, said a voice behind us. Captain Matthews strolled up in a cloud of Aramis aftershaves, meaning that the reporters would be here shortly. Hello, Captain, La Huerta said. I've asked Officer Morgan to maintain a peripheral involvement in this case, he said. The work is well, her capacity as an undercover operative, she has resources in the prosecution community that could assist us in expediting the solution. The man talked with a performer. Too many years of running before. I'm not trying to get this, La Huerta said. He winked and put a hand on her shoulder. People management is a skill. Relax, Detective. She's not going to interfere with your command prerogatives. She'll just check in with you if she has something to report. Witnesses, that sort of thing. Her father was a damn good cop. All right? His eyes glazed and refocused on something on the other end of the parking lot. I looked. The Channel 7 news van was rolling in. Excuse me, Matthews said. He straightened his tie, put on a serious expression, and strolled over to the van. Puta.
Turn them to pieces.
I didn't know if she meant that as a general observation or was talking about death. But I thought it was a good time to slip away, too, before Negretti remembered that Officer Puta was my sister. As I rejoined Death, Matthews was shaking hands with Jerry Gonzalez from Channel 7. Jerry was the Miami area's leading champion of if it bleeds, it leads journalism. My kind of guy. He was going to be disappointed this time. I felt a slight quiver pass over my skin. Don't stay. I never said. Still trying to sound like a cop. But I could tell she was excited. I talked to Matthews. She's going to let me in on this. I heard.
Max ammo.
She blinked at me. What are you talking about? The blazer, I said. Deborah snorted. She said. Yeah, her. She doesn't like you, and she doesn't want you on her turf. Tough. She got her orders from the captain. And she's already spent 5 minutes figuring out how to get around them. So watch your back, Debs. She just shrugged. What did you find out? She asked. I shook my head. Nothing, yet. LaGuerta's already nowhere. But Vince said...
Molotov lit!
Stop. He didn't talk about it seems too fast. Vince was lying. Who knows what he knows? Nobody will ever know if you don't say it back then. There seems to be no blood left in the body. No blood at all. Deborah was quiet for a minute. Not a reverent pause. Not like me. Just thinking. Okay, she said at last. I give up. What does it mean? Too soon to tell, I said. But you think it means something. It meant a strange...
Double point.
It meant an itch to find out more about this killer. It meant an appreciative chuckle from the dark passenger, who should have been quiet so soon after the priest. But that was all rather tough to explain to Deborah, wasn't it? So I just said, it might, Deb. Who really knows? She looked at me hard for half a moment, then shrugged. All right, she said. Anything else? Oh, a great deal, I said. Very nice place. Cuts are close to surgical. Unless they find something in the hotel, which no one expects, the body was killed somewhere else and dumped here. Where? Very good question. Half of police work is asking the right question. The other half is answering. Well then, nobody knows where yet, Deb. And I certainly don't have all the time to data, but you're trying to get a feel for this, she said. I looked at her. She looked at us. I had developed hunches before. I had a small reputation for it. My hunches were often quite good. And why shouldn't they be? I often know how to kill imitations.
Fuck you, you ugly walking cactus!
Yes, I was not always right. Sometimes I was very wide of the mark. It wouldn't look good if I was always right. And I didn't want the cops to catch every serial killer out there. Then what would I do for a hobby? But this one, where should I go with this so very interesting escapade? Tell me, Dexter, Deborah urged. Have you got any guesses about this? Possibly, I said. It's a little early yet.
Calling is why I wake up in the morning.
The breath from behind us. We'll go turn.
Magical relics aren't my forte, but I'd rub a brass lamp until my hands bled if it meant 86ing Richtofen. If craft is the key to finding the artifact, you must get to see it before the undead do.
Don't know why the maggot munchers are here. But I blame the tough. Remodeled that was tough, well, pretty good.
Get to Croft without delay. His knowledge is critical to your success.
Sectioned into several neat pieces.
Ravenoff beats
knee,
Sam.
and ankle.
A marked improvement on Max's because she's
It was a mere
not
2
her.
sessions.
Pick up the pace, people. We need to get to Craft's cell before it becomes a buffet.
Lady genius. Somebody had interrupted the killer. Surprised him. Startled him, so he did not finish the cut. He panicked when he was free. But she directed all her efforts at finding that witness. There was one small problem with the Huerta's theory of interruption. A tiny little thing, perhaps splitting hairs, but the entire body had been meticulously cleaned and wrapped, presumably after it had been cut up. And then it had been transported carefully to the dumpster, apparently with enough time and focus for the killer to make no mistakes and leave no traces. Either nobody pointed this out to La Huerta,
You're gonna have to tell me how the fuck you ended up with these
could it be that
scumbags.
nobody else could notice
Later.
possible. So much of police work is routine, fitting details into patterns. And if the pattern was brand new, the investigation could seem like 3 blind men examining an elephant with a microscope. But since I was neither blind nor hampered by routine, it had seemed far more likely to me that the killer was simply unsatisfied. Plenty of time to
Bonus point.
fifth murder in the same pattern. Was he getting bored? Simply chopping
Given
up
the
the
state we
body?
found you in, I'm guessing the last 5 years haven't been all rainbows and home-cooked borscht.
With Requiem
Some new
Dawn,
direction,
I was
an
hunted by
untried
Omega
twist.
and the KGB.
I could
You
almost
seem to
feel
keep giving me
his
a place to
frustration.
hide.
To have come so far, all the way to the end, sectioning the leftovers for gift wrapping, and then the sudden realization. This isn't it. Something's just not right. Coitus interrupted. It wasn't fulfilling him this way anymore. He needed a different approach. He was trying to express something and hadn't found his vocabulary yet. In my personal opinion, I mean, if it was me, this would make him very frustrated and very likely to look further for the answer. Soon. But let Nebraska look for a witness. There would be none. This was a cold, careful monster.
It's good to see you,
but
my
absolutely fascinating to me.
You
And what
remind
could I
me
do
of the
about that
purpose I once
fascination?
had.
I was not sure.
Fresh starts are the order
So
of
I
the
had
day.
retreated to my
But
boat
first,
to think.
we're gonna find Richtofen,
Danzi
and we're
cut
gonna
across
teach him
my
a thing
bow
or
at
two
70
about
miles per
betrayal.
hour, only inches away. I waved happily and returned to the front. I was approaching Stiltsville, the mostly abandoned collection of old stilt homes in the water near Cape Florida. I noticed there was a big circle, going nowhere, and let my thoughts move back into that same slow arc. What would I do? I needed to decide now before I got too helpful for Desmond. No one's there. Nobody else was even moving in the right direction. But did I want to help? Did I want this killer arrested? Did I want to find him?
What's the deal with these incursions? I thought the Dark Ether was sealed away.
It was, but a dimension is not easily contained. Perhaps a Project Janus experiment failed, or something on the other side could have broken through. There is insufficient.
Of the day.
Tear them
As
to
always, I remembered
pieces.
my camping trip there with Harry Morgan, my foster father, the good father. You did exactly. Yes, Harry, I certainly am. But you
Why
can
use
learn to
bug
control
spray
that
with hot
thing
lead?
and use it constructively.
Last thing we need around here is a fucking bug infestation.
How? And you told
Oh, good! Going batshit in prison to defect my aid.
Sky anywhere, like the starry sky in South Florida, when you were 14 and camping out with Dad.
You believe that was only about a mystical artifact?
Max ammo.
Dark ether.
Maxis has been there so long.
Emotion being
I don't know what's
question.
possible.
You don't
But if
feel it.
Richtofen wants it, I sure as shit don't want him to have it.
The fire has died down and the stars are exceedingly bright. And Foster's new old Dad has been quiet for some time. Taking small sips of the old-fashioned pitch glass he has pulled from the outside flap of his pack. He's not really good at this. Not like so many other cops. Not really a drinker. But he's hungry now, and it's time for him to say his piece if he's ever going to take. You're different, Dexter, he says. I look away from the brightness of the stars. Around the small and shiny clearing,
Max
there are
armor.
reflected shadows. Some of them trickle across Harry's face. He looks strange to me, like I've never seen him before. Determined, unhappy, a little afraid. What do you mean, Dad? He won't look at me. The Billups say Buddy has disappeared, he said. Noisy little creep. He was barking all night.
I have no idea how you won Maya's trust.
Mom
But I
needed her
wonder,
sleep, of course.
will she get wise to
Dying
your
of cancer
shit before
requires
you
plenty of
inevitably
rest.
fuck her over?
And I wonder how long it'll take for you to stop being a piece of shit. I'm not holding my breath. You should be there.
I found the grave, Betty said. There were a lot of bones in that dumpster. Not just bodies. There's very little to say here. Carefully pull at a handful of pine needles and lay it down. How long have you been doing this? I search Harry's face, then look out across the clearing to the beach. Our boat is there, moving gently with the surge of the water.
Something tells me I should not reproduce after eating this.
A soft white glow. I can't figure out where Harry is going, what he wants to keep it. But he is my straight arrow foster.
Just try and lay it down. No hands? I accept tentacles.
Insta-kill. Double points.
I'm still standing, you scum-sucking bastards.
Why did you start? A very good question. And certainly beyond me at 14. It just... I kind of... had to, I tell him. Even then, so young, but so smooth. Do you hear a voice? He wants to know. Something or somebody telling you what to do. And you had to do it. Okay, with 14-year-old therapist. Tell me, Harry says. Oh, for a moon. A good fat moon. Nothing to keep it from I tried to get a big full of pine needles. My face is hot. Because Dad has asked me to talk about sex dreams. What's in a way? It's, I kind of, you know, feel
Power!
inside. Watching. Maybe, laughing? But not really a voice, just an eloquent teenage shrug. But it seemed to make sense to Harry. And there's something. It makes you kill things. High overhead, a slow, fat jet crawls by. Not, doesn't make me, I say. Just makes it seem like a good idea. Have you ever wanted to kill something else? Something bigger than a dog? I try to answer, but there is something in my throat. I clear it. Yes, I know. Nobody in particular, Dad. Just a shrug again. Why didn't you? It's... I thought you wouldn't like it. You and Mom. That's all that stopped you. I didn't want you, mad at me. You know, disappointed. I steal a glance at Harry. He's looking at me, not blinking. Is that why we took this trip, Dad? To talk about this? Yeah, Harry says. We need to get you squared away. Squared away? Oh, yeah.
Somebody tell Carver I just won our headshot contest.
The hospital corner is public street. Even then I knew.
All that and I'm barely scratched.
Sooner or later, getting away means...
Kaboom! Spoils!
I say. He looks at me long and hard, and then he nods when he sees that I am listening step for step. Good boy, he says. Now. And in spite of saying now, it is a very long time before he speaks again. I watch the lights on a boat as it goes past, maybe 200 yards out from our little beach. Over the sound of their motor, a radio is blasting Cuban music. Now, Harry says again, and I look at him. But he's looking away, across the dying fire, off into the future, over there somewhere. It's like this, he says. I listen carefully.
Time to bust
This is
some
what Harry
heads.
says when he's giving you a
You do
higher
know the
order
main
truth.
entrance is locked up tight.
When he showed me how to throw a curveball and how to throw a left
I'm
hook.
sure the doors will do
Like
a little
this, he would
gentle
say.
persuasion.
And it always was. Just like that. I'm getting old, Dexter. He waited for me to object, but I didn't. And he nodded. I think people understand things different when they get older, he says. Not a question of getting soft or seeing things in the gray areas instead of black and white. I really believe I'm just understanding things different. Better. He looks at me. Harry's look. Tough love with blue eyes. 10 years ago, I would have wanted you in an institution somewhere, he said. And I blinked. That almost hurt. Except I thought of it myself. Now, he says, I think I know better. I know what you are. And I know you're a good kid. No, I say. And it comes out very soft and weak. But Harry hears it. Yeah, he said finally. You're a good kid, then. I know. Almost to himself now. For effect, maybe. And then his eyes lock onto mine. Otherwise, you wouldn't care what I thought. or what Mom thought. You just do it. You can't help it, I know that, because he stops and just looks at me for a moment. It's very uncomfortable for me. What do you remember from before? He asked. You know, before we took you in. That still hurts, but I really don't know why. I was only 3. Nothing. Good, he says. Nobody should remember that. And as long as he lives, that will be the most he ever says about it. But even though you don't remember, Dex, it did things to you. Those things make you what you are. I've talked to some people about this. And strangest of strange, he gives me a very small, almost shy, hairy smile. I've been expecting this. What happened to you when you were a little kid has shaped you. I've tried to straighten that out, but he shrugs. It was too strong, too much. It got into you too early, and it's going to stay there. It's going to make you want to kill. You can't help that. You can't change that. But, he says, and he looks away again to see what I can't tell. But you can channel it, control it, choose. His words come talk. Choose what or who you kill. And he gave me a smile unlike any I had ever seen before.
You remember how to do this,
Ravenov? Bleak and dry
or
as the ashes of our dying
burn away that part of your brain.
There are plenty of people who deserve it, Dex.
Caesar told me not to kill you.
With those few little words, he gave a shape to my whole life.
Don't know why the maggot bunches are here.
My who
I blame
and what
Rick.
I am. The wonderful, all-seeing, all-knowing man. My dad. If only I was capable of love, how I would have loved Harry.
I see you've made contact with Ravenov.
Hey,
So
buddy.
long ago now,
Ravenov,
Harry
you in
long
there?
dead. But his lessons have lived
They're
on.
out cold, but hearing
Not
Sam's
because of any
voice, he's got
warm
a
and
bad
gooey
case of
emotional
the
feelings I
DTs.
had.
Pick up the pace, people.
Harry was
Wait
right.
to get to Kraft's cell before it
I proved
becomes a
that over
buffet.
and over. Harry did.
Try and undead yourself from that, you shit fucker.
Be careful, Harry said. He taught me to be careful as only a cop can keep a secret. To choose carefully among those who deserve it. And make absolutely sure. Then tidy up.
I'm tired, bro. This shit, bro.
Avoid emotional involvement. It can lead to mistakes. Being careful went beyond the actual killing, of course. Being careful meant building a careful life, too.
And I thought I get bad company.
Socialize. Imitate life. All of
You're
which
gonna
I
have to
had
tell
done
me how the
so
fuck you
very
ended up with
carefully.
these scumbags.
I was a near perfect
Later.
hologram. Above criticism, beyond reproach, and beneath and polite. The boy next door. Even
Get
though it was
stuck,
a
kid.
fool half the time. Of course, she believed what she wanted to believe too. Right now, she believed I could help her solve these murders, jumpstart her career, and catapult her out of her Hollywood sex suit and into
Given
a
the state we
tailored
found you
business
in,
suit.
I'm guessing the last 5 years haven't been all rainbows and home-cooked borscht.
I could help her,
Quickly and gone. I was
but I
hunted
didn't
by
really want
Omega and the
to,
KGB.
because I enjoyed watching
You
this
see, the
other
kid
killer
gave me a
work,
place to hide.
and felt some kind of aesthetic connection, or involvement. Well, there it was. I was in clear violation of the code of Harry. I noticed the boat that it was full dark.
Max armor.
A few degrees to the left of my home water. So be it. Harry had always been right. He was right now. Don't get emotionally involved, Harry had said. So I wouldn't. I would help Deb. Chapter 5.
It is good
The
to
next
see you,
morning
my
it was
friend.
raining and the traffic was crazy. Like it
You
always
remind
is in
me of the
Miami when
purpose
it
I
rains.
once had.
Some drivers
Fresh
slow
starts
down
are the
on
order of the
slick
day.
roads.
But
That
first,
made others furious,
we're gonna find
and
the
they leaned
coffin,
on their
and we're
horns,
gonna teach you a thing or
screamed out
two
their
about
windows, and
betrayal.
accelerated out
Tear
of the
them to
fishing came
pieces.
wildly past the slow posts and waving their fists. At the lagoon armor, the dairy truck and roared onto the shoulder and hit a van full of kids from a Catholic school. The dairy truck flipped over, and now 5 young girls in plaid wool skirts were sitting in a huge puddle of milk with dazed looks on their
Grounded,
faces.
fucker!
Traffic nearly stopped by now.
What fifth circle
One
cesspit
kid was
did you pull
in
out?
Jackson Hospital. The others sat in the milk in their uniforms and watched the grown-ups scream at each other. I inched along placidly, listening to the radio. Apparently, the police were hot on the trail of the Tamiami butcher. There were no specifics available,
Sam,
but Captain
What's the deal
Matthews
with
got a
these
lovely
incursions? I thought the
soundbite.
Dark Ether was
He
sealed
made it
away.
seem like he would personally make
But
me
a dimension
as
is
soon
not
as he came
easily
to Chicago.
contained. Perhaps a
Only
Project
got
Janus
off on the
experiment
surface
failed.
roads and
Or
went
something
only
on the
little
other
further.
side could have broken
I stopped at a
through.
donut
There
shop
isn't
not too far
sufficient
from the
data at
airport.
this time.
I bought an apple fritter and a cruller, but the apple fritter was gone almost before I got back into the car. I have a very high metabolism. It comes with a good life. The rain had stopped by the time I got to work. The sun shone and steam rose from the pavement as I walked into the lobby, flashed my credentials, and went upstairs. Deb was already waiting for me. She didn't look happy this morning. Of course, she doesn't look happy very often anymore. She's a cop, after all, and most of them...
Remodeled that one's top floor pretty good.
Too much time on duty trying not to look human. It leaves their faces stuck. Deb, I said, put the crisp white pastry bag on my desk. Where were you last night? She said, very sour, as I'd expected. Soon those frown lines
That
become
baloney
common.
about a mystical
Really a
artifact
wonderful
that'll
thing.
return Maxis from the
Deep blue
dark
eyes,
ether.
alive with intelligence,
Maxis has been there
and
so
small,
long.
upturned nose
I don't know
with
what's
a dash of
possible.
freckles.
But if the
Framed by
coffin
black
wants
hair.
it, I sure as
Beautiful
shit don't
features.
want him to have it.
At the moment, spattered with about 7 pounds of cheap makeup. I looked at her with fondness. She was clearly coming from work, dressed today in a lacy bra, bright pink stand-up shorts, and gold high heels. Like me, I said, where were you? She flushed. She hated to wear anything with clean cut blues. I tried to call you. Sorry. Yeah, sure. They're shutting me out, she said. She opened my donut bag and looked inside. What did you expect? I said. You know how LaGuerta feels about this. She pulled the collar out of the bag and savaged it. I expect, she said, mouthful, to be in on it, like the captain said. You don't have any seniority, I said, or any political smarts.
Bonus
She crumpled the bag and threw it at my head. She missed. God damn it,
Double
Dexter,
points.
she said. You know damned well I deserve to be in homicide. Instead of... She snapped her bra strap and waved a hand at her stinky costume. This bullshit. No. Although I knew
God
it
damn,
looked
don't
good,
expect me to
I
bury
said.
you too.
She made an awful face. Rage and disgust competing for space.
I have no idea how you won Maya's trust.
I can't do
But
this
I
much
wonder,
longer, or I swear
will she
I'll
get
go
wise
nuts.
to your shit before you
It's a little
inevitably
too
fuck
soon
her
for me to
over?
have the whole
I
thing
wonder how
figured
long
out,
it'll take
Deb,
for you to stop being a piece of shit.
she said.
I'm not holding my
Whatever
breath.
else you could say about police work, it was ruthless ever so She gave me a cold, hard cop look, the first I'd ever had from her. It was Harry's look, the same eyes, same feeling of looking right through you to the truth. Don't bullshit to death, she said. All you have to do half the time is see the body, and you know who did it. I never asked you how you do that, but if you have any hunches on this one, I want them. She kicked out savagely and put a small dent in my metal vest. God damn it, I want out of this stupid outfit. And we'd all love to see that, Morgan. Came a deep and phony voice from behind her in the doorway.
Shit.
I looked up. Vince Masuoka was smiling in at her. You wouldn't know what to do, Vince, Deb told him. He smiled bigger, that bright, fake, textbook smile. Why don't we try it and find out?
I said that thinning a herd is good for the planet. Can't argue with science.
Bonus points.
It was your turn, Goody. What did you bring me? Where is it? Sorry, Vince, I said. Debbie ate your cruller. I wish, he said, with his sharp imitation leer. Then I could eat her jelly roll. You owe me a big donut, Dex, he said. The only big one you'll ever have, Deborah said. It's not the size of the donut, it's the skill of the baker, Lynn told me. Please, I said, you sure know this spraying a frontal lobe. It's too early to be this clever. Lynn said, with his terrible fake laugh. See you later, he whispered. Don't forget my donut. And he wandered away to his microscope. So what have you figured out? Deb asked me. Deb believes that every now and then I got hunches. Guesses had to do with the brutal wackos who like to hack up some poor slob every few weeks just for the hell of it. Several times Deborah had seen me
All the magic in this joint can't fix that.
And it bothers the hell out of her every now and then.
Kaboom! Max armor!
Thing on the earth, it does love me. This is not self-pity, but the coldest, clearest self-knowledge. I'm unlovable. Following Harry's plan, I tried to involve myself in other people, in relationships.
Little shot of this for me, and a fuck ton of headshots for you.
Put her on the chain, Mom. The dog.
In Spec Ops, you learned a million ways to use these.
Any day now. Are we waiting for these rotting meat sacks to have a change of heart? Looks like someone wants me to blow these stinking corpses back to hell. I'm in no mood for your shit today, Box. Cough up the goods.
I knew it. You do it. Don't interrupt my train.
Last thing you need in combat is uncertainty. But here I am again. Oh yeah, jackpot. I'm gonna put this thing to work.
The entrance is locked. You must breach those reinforced doors. And all they gotta do is stroll up to it and ask politely. Didn't think so.
After he was interrupted, I clapped. You guys. Bravo, Miss Marple. No contrast. There is plenty of time, but the ritual is not completed properly. Remember that. The ritual is only for God's sake.
Insta-kill!
Sorry, no group discounts.
But he didn't finish. Shit. The wrapping up part was more important than the cutting. I took pity on him. This is the
Just me and the old coot up here. Wouldn't mind your company. Seriously.
And now I get five. I shrugged, raised an eyebrow at him.
Guess we didn't need the password.
I don't know. I swear to God. What?
I can wrong way to ventilate your brain.
I was supposed to figure that out. Somebody should, don't you think? So he just sort of dribbled through.
Honestly, it's on par with most MREs.
The kid.
Boom, kept contraband in there. Sounds like Franco's day just keeps getting worse. Because it's ours now.
Not the contents I was hoping for.
Full power.
Doesn't run out of juice. Nothing like a little upgrade to make a man feel young again.
I had a long report to type up.
Where the fuck is the old man?
It was routine stuff. A double homicide that would probably never go to trial. But I like to make sure that whatever I touch is well organized. Besides, this one had been interesting. The blood spatter had been very difficult to read. Between the arterial spurting, the
Next down and Sam. Take no clothes while I air this bird out.
from what had to be a chainsaw, it had been almost impossible to find its impact. In order to cover the whole room, I had to use 2 bottles of aluminum.
Tear them to pieces. Max ammo.
Professional reasons for this are obvious, but not quite as important to me as the personal one. Someday a psychiatrist retained by the state penal system will discover in any case, the body chunks were very cold by the time we got to the scene, and we would probably never find the body size 7.5. Right-handed and overweight. With a career.
Sending Molotov.
But I had persevered and
Shut the fuck, sorry. All aboard Weaver's Death Express.
but it doesn't. They will say I am a sociopathic, a sick and twisted demon who is not even human. And they will probably
Bonus points.
with a smug, self-righteous glow. If they ever get size 7.5, they will say he is a bad man who went wrong because of social forces he was too unfortunate to resist. And he will go to jail for 10 years before they turn him loose with enough money for a suit and a new chainsaw. Every day at work, Chapter 6.
Ouch. Well, sucks to suck. Just sweet as soleil. about your face.
After years of dreadful fumbling and embarrassment, I was Rita was already badly damaged as I am. Married too young, she had fought to make it work for 10 years and 2 kids.
Max Armor.
Her life mate had a few small problems. First alcohol, then heroin, believe it. And finally...
I beat these fuckers once from behind a desk. This time, I'll do it in person.
That raped her. Infected her with some dreadful crack house diseases. All this on a regular basis. And Rita endured. Work. Tossing through rehab twice. Then he went out to prison one night, and Rita finally put a foot down. She was healed by now, of course. And broken arms and ribs are routinely found in physicians.
Going incendiary! Thanks for coming to Bodies by Weekly. Again.
But as a result of her frequent battery at the hands of the man she loved, she was completely uninterested in sex. Just maybe...
Insta-kill.
Grab your watch here. Got a full tank. Who needs a ride?
Sensitive, gentle, and willing to wait. Quite a long search, of course. She was looking for some imaginary man who cared more about having someone to talk to and see movies with than someone to have sex with. Because she was just ready. Did I say imaginary? Well, yes. Human men are not like that. Most women know this.
Sending Molotov!
2 kids. Poor Rita had married too young and too badly to learn this valuable. Later on, also recovering from an awful marriage. Instead of realizing the bad marriage, he was offered this lovely romantic picture of a perfect gentleman who would wait indefinitely for her to open flowers like a little flower. Existed in Victorian England when there was a knocking shop on every corner where he could blow off steam between flowery protestations of frictionless love.
Power.
To my knowledge, in 21st century man. And yet, I could imitate all those...
Kaboom!
I actually wanted to. I had no interest in a sexual relationship. I wanted to describe. Rita was exactly what I was looking for. She was, as I said, very presentable. Petite and pert and spunky. A slim athletic figure, short blonde hair and blue eyes. She was a fitness fanatic, spending all her off hours running and biking and sweating. In fact, sweating was one of our favorite activities. We stood through the Everglades, done 5K runs, and even went hiking together. And that's the
Going incendiary!
Fuck! Rotate to the big tank. I'm pulling back till I figure this out.
Now there's literally nothing happening between their ears.
And yet here I was. Perhaps that was part of my strange liking for Aster and Cody. And that made no sense to me. I know what I am, and I understand many things.
Max Ammo.
But one of the two character traits that genuinely mystifies me is my attitude toward children. I like them. They are important to me. They matter. I don't understand. I genuinely wouldn't care if every
Tear them to pieces.
with the possible exception of myself, and maybe better. I do not, as the shrink put it so eloquently,
Oh my fucking god, bro.
Be like me. This Friday night, Pastor answered the door. She was wearing a large T-shirt that said Rugrats and hung below her knees. Her red hair was pulled back in two pigtails. She had no expression at all on her small, still face. "Hello, Dexter," she said in her too quiet way. For her, 2 words were a long conversation. "Good evening, beautiful young lady," I said in my best Lord Mountbatten voice. "May I observe that you are looking very lovely this evening?" "Okay," she said, holding the door open. "He's here," she said over her shoulder to the darkness around the couch. I stepped past her. Cody was standing behind her, just inside, like he was backing her up, just in case. "Cody," I said. I handed him a roll of Necco wafers. He took them without taking his eyes off me and simply let his hand drop to his side without looking at the candy. He wouldn't open them until I was gone, and then he would split them with his sister. "Dexter?" Rita called from the next room. "In here," I said. "Can't you teach these children to behave?" "No," said Cody softly. A joke. I stared at him. What next? Would he sing someday? Tap dance in the streets? Address the Democratic National Convention? Rita rustled in, fastening a hoop earring.
Magical relics aren't my forte, but I'd rub a brass lamp until my hands bled if it meant 86ing Richthofen. If craft is the key to finding the artifact, you must get to him before the undead do.
We know what we have to do. Find the German. Which is a game I'm really good at.
Dimensional breaches have formed around the keep. I cannot tell how or why they are occurring.
Well, get with the program, you glorified abacus. We've got our hands full down here. Oh, and Ravenov, say privyet to Sam.
Pick up the pace, people. We need to get to Craft's cell before it becomes a buffet. Welcome to the Castle of Busted Skulls.
Max armor.
"Do you?" "No," I said. "I usually want to."
Franco calls this vessel his kingdom, which is fitting. It's a cast-off pile of shit, as is he.
"No. Will you come back?" Cody asked. "Cody, of course I'll be."
If you're done playing gangster, help us take down Richthofen. Given the state we found you in, I'm guessing the last 5 years haven't been all rainbows and home-cooked borscht.
With Requiem gone, I was hunted by Omega and the KGB. The Syndicate gave me a place to hide. Such that it is.
The door is wide open, 1,000 sides.
Hey, pass!
Probably been open for 20 odd minutes.
Making pointless conversation, an art at which I excel. It was a lovely night. One corner was chewed off the full moon of a few nights ago when I had entertained Father Donovan. And as we drove back to Rita's South Miami house after our standard evening,
Buckets!
Are you serious?
coconut grows less.
6 years of prison food! I'll damn sure live through this.
Caught my eye, and I glanced down the side street. Crime scene. The yellow tape was already up, and several cruisers were nosed into a hurried splay. It's him again. And even before I knew what I meant by that, I was swinging the car down the street to the crime scene. Where are we going? Rita asked, quite reasonably. I said, I'd like to check here and see if they need me. Don't you have a beeper? I gave her my best Friday night smile. They don't always know they need me, I said. I might have stopped anyway, to show off Rita. The whole point of wearing the disguise was to be seen wearing her. But in truth, the small, irresistible voice yammering in my ear would have made me stop no matter what. It's him again. Now, what he was up to. I left Rita in the car and hurried over. He was up to no good again, the rascal. There was the same stack of neatly wrapped body parts. Angel, no relation, bent over it in almost the same position he'd been in when I left him at the last scene. Hijo de puta, he said when I approached him. Not me, I trust, I said. The rest of us are complaining that we have to work on Friday night, Angel said. You show up with a date, and there's still nothing for you here. Same guy? Same pattern? Same, he said. He flipped the plastic away with his pen. Bone dry again, he said. No blood at all. The words made me feel slightly lightheaded. I leaned in for a look. Once again, the body parts were amazingly clean and dry. They had a near blue tinge to them and seemed preserved in their small, perfect moment of time. Wonderful. A small difference in the cuts this time, Angel said. In 4 places, he pointed. Very rough here, almost emotional. Then here, not so much. Here and here, in between. Huh? Very nice, I said. And then look at this, he said. He nudged aside the bloodless chunk on top with a pencil. Underneath, another piece gleamed white. The flesh had been flayed off very carefully, lengthwise, to reveal a clean bone. Why he would do like that? Angel asked softly. I breathed. He's experimenting, I said, trying to find the right way. And I stared at the neat, dry section until I became aware that Angel had been looking at me for a very long moment. Like a kid playing with his food, is how I described it to Rita when I returned to the car. My God, Rita said, that's horrible. I think the correct word is heinous, I said. How can you joke about it, Dexter? I gave her a reassuring smile. You kind of get used to it in my line of work, I said. We all make jokes to hide our pain. Well, good Lord, I hope they catch this maniac soon. I thought of the neatly stacked body parts, the variety of cuts, the wonderful total lack of blood. Not too soon, I said. What did you say? She asked. I said, I don't think it will be too soon. The killer is extremely clever, and the detective in charge of the case is more interested in playing politics than in solving murders. She looked at me to see if I was kidding. Then she sat quietly for a while as we drove south on US 1. She didn't speak until South Miami. I can never get used to seeing, I don't know, the underside, the way things really are, the way you see it, she finally said. She took me by surprise. I'd been using the silence to think about the nicely stacked body parts we'd just left. My mind had been hungrily circling the clean, dried, chopped up limbs, like an eagle looking for a chunk of meat to rip out. Rita's observation was so unexpected I couldn't even stutter for a minute. What do you mean? I managed to say at last. She frowned. I'm not sure. Just, we all assume that things really are a certain way. The way they're supposed to be. And then they never are. They're always more, I don't know, darker, more human. Like this. I'm thinking, of course the detective wants to catch the killer. Isn't that what detectives do? And it never occurred to me before that there could be anything at all political about murder. Practically everything, I said. I turned onto her street and slowed down in front of her neat and unremarkable house. But you, she said. She didn't seem to notice where we were or what I had said. That's where you start. Most people would never really think it through that.
Magical relics aren't my forte, but I'd rub a brass lamp into my hands bled if it meant 86ing Richtofen. Craft is the key to finding the artifact. We must get to him before the undead do it.
We know what we have to do. Find the German. Which is a game I'm really good at.
I am monitoring communications and will provide any help I can.
What the hell? Wrap it off! He's gonna spit out his drink whenever he hears Sam's voice. I think we figured out how to get him off the sauce.
Good luck processing that right off. We're a few days ahead of you, and I still can't wrap my head around it. See that? A face only a bullet could love.
Bonus points.
No, Dexter.
Cargo calls this castle his kingdom, which is fitting. This is a cast-off pile of shit, as is he.
I'm not ready for... Damn it, Dexter, she said. She unclipped her seat.
You're gonna have to tell me how the fuck you ended up with these scumbags. Later. Given the state we found you in, I'm guessing the last 5 years haven't been all rainbows and home-cooked borscht.
With Requiem gone, I was hunted by Omega and the KGB. The Syndicate gave me a place to hide. Substance it is.
Double points.
So narrow, which makes sense because it's well. And now it's tantalizing. I feel the cold blowing around. And even feel it. And if I could only feel my teeth, I felt sure it was checked. And my hand in perfect unison with
It's good to see you, my friend. You remind me of the purpose I once had.
Fresh starts are the order of the day. But first, we're gonna find Richtofen, and we're gonna teach him a thing or two about betrayal.
Tear them to pieces.
And these little fuckers are just the appetizers. CIA commander to goddamn bug wrangler. Fuck my career.
Max ammo.
I don't pretend to understand why.
Sam, what's the deal with these incursions? I thought the Dark Ether was sealed away.
It was, but a dimension is not easily contained. Perhaps a Project Janus experiment failed, or something on the other side could have broken through. There is insufficient data at this time.
Max armor. Kaboom!
You believe that baloney about a mystical artifact that'll return Maxis from the dark ether?
Maxis has been there so long. I don't know what's possible. But if Richtofen wants it, I sure as shit don't want him to have it. Either I chew on this or the maggot munchers chew on me. I'm sure as shit doing my part.
Insta-kill.
I have no idea how you won Maya's trust, but I wonder, will she get wise to your shit before you inevitably fuck her over?
And I wonder how long it'll take for you to stop being a piece of shit. I'm not holding my breath.
Wow, I said. You just blew away all the competition in the subject-changing tournament. I'm serious, she said. I really am for it, but what do you mean, cell crystallization?
Thanks for coming to Bodies by Weaver. Come again.
Max armor.
What, of course? I shook my head. First, tell me why you want to know. She looked at me for a long, hard moment and blew out another breath. I think you know, what did that of course mean? Nothing, I said. I've been irritated about it. The rest of the army just looked like what it looks like. It was suggested to call it. Like you. Why did you do that? It would slow the flow of blood, I said.
Just me and the old coot up here. Wouldn't mind your company. Seriously.
Not only could I never explain it, she would lock me up if I tried. It's vital, I said. For some reason, I felt embarrassed.
Get in! For all the good it will do. Wicked painless. Not that I give a shit. I took one for the team. Well, more than one. I'm gonna smell like blood for days.
Bonus point.
Max used to say I have more lives than 9 cats. Me fucking yow, motherfuckers.
Last night I got an invite to the 72-hour briefing, she said. I clapped my hands. Wonderful, you've arrived. What do you need me for? Metro Grade has a policy
Time
of
to
pulling
bust
the
some
homicide
heads.
team together
The entrance is locked.
72
You
hours
must
after a
breach
murder.
those reinforced
The
doors.
investigating officer
And all they
team
gotta do
talked
is
over with
stroll
the
up to it and
examiner
ask
and
politely.
sometimes
Didn't
someone
think so.
keeps the file. It keeps everyone on the same page. Nebula Grind. She was on the case. She scowled. I'm not good at politics, Dexter. I can feel Negretta pushing me out. She's still looking for a victory with me?
Tear them to pieces.
Unless they are technically good to the hero and rest upon forbids me from playing with money.
Old-fashioned fun.
She said. 2 old ladies at the what you said made sense. It did. And she's ignoring me. And even worse.
Who needs a tank when you are the tank?
There's a joke going around.
That's one thorny problem in the rear view.
Full power.
Culling is why I wake up in the morning.
Also kept contraband in there. Sounds like Franco's day just keeps getting worse. Because, well, it's ours now.
A box of shit. Fun.
So similar to what I would love to do someday. I had to stay uninvolved, but this was pulling at me so very hard. Even last night's dream with its cold air. Pure coincidence, of course, but unsettling anyway. This killer had touched the heart of what he was about. And the way he worked, of course, are not in his selection of victims. He had to be stopped, certainly, no question. Those poor hookers. Still, the need for cold. So very interesting to explore sometime. Find a nice, dark, narrow place. Narrow? Where did that come from? My dream, naturally. But that was just saying that my unconscious wanted me to think about it, wasn't it? And narrow felt right somehow. Cold.
Magical relics aren't my forte, but I'd rub a brass lamp into my hands bled if it meant 86ing Richtofen. Craft is the key to finding the artifact. You must get to him before the undead do.
Don't know why the maggot munchers are here, but I blame Richtofen.
I see you've made contact with Ravenov.
Hey, buddy. Ravenov, you in there? He's either out cold at hearing Sam's voice, or he's got a bad case of the DTs.
Good luck processing that, Ravenov. We're a few days ahead of you, and I still can't wrap my head around it.
How do you say craniectomy in French?
Bonus points.
Seeing you all reminds me of the old times. But also how far I have fallen. I should never have worked for this syndicate scum.
If you're done playing gangster, help us take down Richtofen. Given the state we found you in, I'm guessing the last 5 years haven't been all rainbows and home-cooked borscht.
With Requiem gone, I was hunted by Omega and the KGB. The syndicate gave me a place to hide. Such that it is. Good to see you, my friend. You remind me of the purpose I once had.
Fresh starts are the order of the day. But first, we're gonna find Richtofen, and we're gonna teach him a thing or two about betrayal.
Insta-kill.
Sam, what's the deal with these incursions? I thought the Dark Ether was sealed away.
It was, but a dimension is not easily contained. Perhaps a Project Janus experiment failed, or something on the outer side could have broken through. There is insufficient...
Tear them to pieces.
You're grounded, fucker. What fifth circle cesspit did you crawl out of?
Believe that baloney about a mystical artifact that'll return Maxis from the Dark Ether?
Maxis has been there so long.
Max ammo.
But if Richtofen wants it, I sure as shit don't want him to have it.
armor.
I have no idea how you won Maya's trust, but I wonder, will she get wise to your shit before you inevitably fuck her over?
And I wonder how long it'll take for you to stop being a piece of shit. I'm not holding my breath. You shouldn't either.
Carver owes me a beer when this is over. Frozen drinks never made me a better shot. But what the fuck do I know?
The main entrance is locked. You must breach those reinforced doors. And all they gotta do is stroll up to it and ask politely. Didn't think so.
Insta-kill.
Like now, but you're gonna hate me in the morning. Welcome to the castle of busted skulls. Just old-fashioned fun. Nobody tell the Soviet Olympic team about this stuff.
I know for a fact Franco kept dangerous shipments in that area. Good thing we get a 5-finger discount.
Not the contents I was hoping for. Have fun playing darts in hell, asshole. Always wondered what this thing's power source was. Gumballs, sodas. How long before it's cigarettes?
Double points.
Race said that thinning a herd is good for the planet. Can't argue with science.
Good to go for castle extraction if y'all need to tap out.
lit.
Bonus points. Max armor. Tear them to pieces.
Fuck center mass, I'm spraying some gray.
Exfil is off the menu. Under related note that the one wants me to keep my hands off the fucking instrument. Ugh.
Max ammo.
Sending Molotov. I can do this all day. I got plenty of corpses.
Full power.
Throwing his ouch. Well, sucks to suck it. Had me on pins and needles for a second there.
Insta-kill.
They took my rank, my freedom. They only made me more dangerous. Molotov lit! Sorry, no group discounts.
Double points.
Exit if you've had enough of Avalon.
Sending Molotov. Fuck you in particular.
Bonus points. Kaboom!
Throwing incendiary. It's like a symphony of bodily harm.
I'm going backward mode. For the safety check.
Do your worst. I'm ranger trained to fire pretty much anything. Wow. I felt like this when I earned my jump wings.